Okay, this video is a brief introduction to a website called CodeApp, which is one that we're going to be using regularly over the next few weeks. It's a website that allows us to draw some quite neat graphs using some data that we've collected. In this particular activity, there are a couple of links on our Word document that will take us straight into the CodeApp web pages. So the first one, if you click on that, will take you to this web page. And I'll just talk about the basic features of the site of this page. So you've got a couple of things already loaded onto the page ready for you to play around with. So you've got this window here, which is essentially the window with all the data in it. You can resize that window. You can make it longer and wider as you please. A lot of it's just click and drag, right? So you can make it wider, longer. So this here is the data that's shown in card form. We can shift table form. It gets a little bit messy. I'm going to try and just drag this over here. And you'll notice that the information now is in table form. So you've got these values here that represent each student that participated in the census at school, and you've got the information that they typed in for their responses. So student number 2 here is a male, 13 years old. I think this is to do with what country they were born in. Can't remember the exact questions. This is to do whether they identify themselves as being Pākehā, Maori, Western Samoan, so that should be Samoan, Cook Island, etc. Right. So each row represents an individual, and each column represents an attribute or variable. So we're going to switch back to the card format. So to switch, just click on the top left-hand corner and just select switch. So here we're looking at one person. Right. So this is one person, male, 13 years old, born in New Zealand, Pākehā. Speaks one language, has got blue eyes. And then next to that, you've got a window that you're going to use to draw your graphs. Now, normally when you log into or enter the CodeApp site, you'll find that all that stuff's blank, and you'll add your own tables and graphs in yourself. That's quite easy. You just sort of click, and it puts stuff there for you. You can grab data from tables that you've already made, or you can type the data in there as you go. Same thing with graphs. Right, you just click on the actual button at the top there, and it'll set aside some space in the work area for your graph. We don't have to do that. We've already got our data loaded. So let's just go back to that page we were looking at before. Okay, so if we wanted to draw a graph of any of these variables, all you have to do is drag and drop. So for example, supposing you wanted to know what the distribution of eye colors is for those 21 students. There are 21 students who participated. All you'd need to do is you need to go down to the eye color name, the attribute name. You click and drag and drop it in the x-axis on there, and it automatically grabs all the information from our data source and graphs that. In this case here, all the graphs tend to be dot plots if they're just of one variable. You can get it to combine the dots so that they form bars. For example, this particular one, you can get them to fuse and form a bar. I don't know if you can go back. Oh, you can. Take those back. Yep, so we're just going to deal with dot plots because that's the focus of today's lesson. So we can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people blue eyes, one person who said they were had green eyes, and 3 people had hazel, and the rest were brown eyes. And if you wanted to change that, if you wanted to know the distribution of people, or the different ways people travel to school, click on the travel name and just drop on top of that. It'll automatically replace what you had underneath with what you're dropping on top. So we're now looking at different ways that students travel. So say they travel to school. Most students said they come by car. A lot of students said they walked. One person took the train. 3 person on the bus and 2 people biked. All right. So you might find that every now and again you'll have to resize your graph windows, and that's simple. If you wanted to widen it, just click and drag. If you want to elongate it, click and drag. Yeah, pretty simple. Off you go.